Can you guys hear me? Okay. My voice gets really high on these things, so I apologize. In my head, it sounds a lot lower and a lot better, so sorry. My name is Marcy Patzer, and I'm from SCALA. I'm the Senior Director of Retail, and I'm here today to talk about analytics. So quickly, to just give everyone a brief overview of who SCALA is. SCALA is fortunate to have 450 partners in 90 countries with over 600,000 displays powered by SCALA. We focus, if this works, there we go. A few quick highlights just so you can kind of understand where we're coming from and where our mindset is. SCALA has been around, this is our 25th year. We have been solely focused on software by design. We don't deal with hardware, we don't do installation. For us, it's all about the software. And due to that, it's allowed us to be extremely stable, scalable. We have crazy open architecture. If you choose to go by our booth, you'll see mobile integration, tablet integration, QR codes, all the great things that are happening. But to me, what makes SCALA unique is that it's the continuous evolution and the fact that we do focus solely on the software. And so what that's allowed us to do is just continue to develop, which one of the things we'll be talking about today is how we're now tackling analytics and specifically SCALA Advanced Analytics. So our tagline is command attention. And we feel that actually as a consumer and as a customer of ours, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the attention of your customer. You're trying to engage them. You're trying to convert them over. Whether you're trying to speak to them and just grab them for that 1 second so you can educate them, inform, upsell, all those good things, you want their attention. So how can we help you do that? So before we get any further, I just want to define analytics so that we're all kind of working off the same playing field. I like to use the analogy of a car just because it's really easy for me to remember and it really makes sense to me. If you think about just plain analytics, that's your rearview mirror. It's a report. It's something that's happened, whether it's your playlist, whether it's your POS terminal logs, it's what's happened in the past, and that's analytical data. Then you have your windshield, and you can call this predictive analytics. Based on what's happened in the past, I'm going to predict what's going to happen in the future. Okay, that's well and fine. But now there's the steering wheel. And that's what SCALA calls advanced analytics. We know what's happened in the past. We know what's probably going to happen in the future. But how can we take a hold of that steering wheel and change what our customer is going to do? How can we try to alter that path? And so this is really where we get into the fact of we need more data. You know, today, a lot of predictive analytics is based on your play log, your playlist, what content you showed, at what time, and the POS data. And that's it. You may also understand that maybe there was a marketing campaign or a coupon that went in. But what about other factors, such as weather, such as the economy, such as social chatter? The more data you can have, the better your analytics are going to be. And what you'll find is you'll start finding patterns that we can start playing off of, and then we can optimize our playlist based on those factors. Okay, so this is story time. Why in the world is SCALA, who's a software platform, diving into analytics? So a shiny penny, and I don't know if this is going to translate, but the shiny penny is that perfect customer, that perfect thing. You're the shiny penny. Everything's wonderful. And we had a situation like this. We had a customer who was rather large, and everything went off perfect. We asked about what their goal was going to be for the network. We brought in a phenomenal partner. We had buy-in from the client, which you know is hard, from marketing, visual merchandising, IT. It was gorgeous. It was fantastic. And we installed the system, praises from customers, from the employees. We hit our marks. We were raising dollars. Everything was great. So about 6 months later, you know how you always like to have those meetings where you know you're going to go in and be praised and everything's really happy, shiny penny. So our CEO walks in and just thinks it's going to be a great meeting and says, hey, so, how's the system doing? It's all right. What do you mean? I mean, we were expecting, oh, it's still great. We still love you. You're the best. It's all right. Okay, so hold on to that thought. So you've all probably been in the industry for quite a while. Have you also heard that this is the year? This is the year it's going to happen. This is the year that digital signage is going to explode. Oh my gosh. But every year we keep hearing that. And we're still kind of waiting for that to happen. And we're not quite sure why it hasn't. And as it happens, I mean, we all keep evolving and bringing better things to our products from a hardware and installation and software perspective. And I personally feel that a lot of it is because of day 2. We all probably have a lot of RFPs, or you've issued RFPs lately, and it talks about that perfect day. Implementation day 1. What about day 2? Have we budgeted for day 2? Have we thought about what our content strategy is going to be? We have an initial goal for digital signage and for that implementation, why we're doing it. But what's our secondary goal? What's our third goal? How are we going to continue to evolve that network and have new things for our customers to interact with and play with? Here's a quote from Digital Signage Today, that a trained, talented motion graphics designer can produce approximately 200 spots a year. If the average pay package in the market is $60,000, then they're producing it for $300 a spot. If it's outsourced, 2 or 3 that time. If you haven't budgeted for that, that's a lot of dollars. Other reports have found $250 an hour, $150 an hour, and I'm not trying to scare you about networks. I'm not trying to scare you about content. There's other ways that you'll find on the floor that there's very valuable ways to create content. We have a designer tool that we use. You can do templates. You can have RSS feeds. You can do dynamic data. But my point is, whether you like it or not, we believe that content is king. It should be the most expensive part of your network. It should be something that's changing. So number 1, have we budgeted for it? And number 2, which gets me back to analytics, are we using it as effectively as we can? If we're spending all of our money on this, are we getting the most out of it? So here's a big, crazy chart. And I could spend an hour on this, and I won't. But it's kind of showing you some of the back end. The basis is we have a neural network engine, and we have PhDs on staff that create models and maps and understand what data to put into the system. And the system will come out and tell us that there's correlations and there's relationship between different things. We now take that and use it as triggers. So if it says when it's warm and Marcy walks up, this is what she'd like to do. Think about when you are on a website and you choose something and you put in your basket. That's analytics when it says someone just like you also likes these items. Or I know you, how about you buy this, this, and this? They're doing it today. Why aren't we applying it to digital signage? Same concept, same theory, but now let's take that data and understand those relationships and have it optimize our playlists. So kind of what I was saying, it's bringing insight to factors, driving business behavior. Why are people doing certain things? It's probably not shown in simple marketing estimates, and I'll give you some examples. Everything from POS data to environmental factors, and we're actually finding the environmental factors are playing a large part on consumer behavior and their buying patterns. It's generating automatic displays and messages at the right time, at the right location. Everything's about personalization. That's why we're using RFID and NFC, and we're talking about letting people use their mobile. It's for personalization of the message. So let's also make sure that we're showing them the right message that we feel can produce that goal for us. Again, you're grabbing that customer's attention. You're commanding attention. You're engaging, and you're matching the message, location, time, weather, or individual customer. So here's some examples. This is actually an example of when it's best not to market. So I'm sure in the past you've all had your cell phone company come to you and say, hey, this is, if you think about it from a marketing perspective, this is beautiful, right? Hey, I'm gonna give you a free upgrade if you just come in and re-sign up for 2 years. Everyone's seen it. That's their big getcha. And it's a perfect marketing opportunity because it's driving you back to the store because they're giving you something free. What this telephone company found is that they were actually losing a ton of customers during this time. They would send them a flyer telling them it's time to upgrade, and they were actually losing customers. So once they started applying advanced analytics, once they started looking outside of just marketing campaign, POS, who's in the store, they actually realized that the people who were leaving, by analyzing their call logs, their call circle and their best friends were actually with other carriers. So as a marketing person, I'm sending this out saying, this is great, come on back in, buy. But what the customer's reading is, I can get out without a penalty. And we wouldn't have known that without pulling in additional data feeds and understanding why people were doing what they were doing. So in this case, it was actually best not to market to those people. Coupons. And this is something, couponing is huge right now. And again, it kind of goes back to the internet example. If you know, we have so much data on loyalty and POS and what products go with which, that if you know someone is already purchasing a product, why are we giving them a generic message? Why are we giving them a generic coupon? So the analogy, again, can work towards digital signage. Why are we giving them generic messages when we may know more that can help affect and change their behavior? So the new sales dynamic. We feel that through advanced analytics, you can create a customized, flexible, targeted, and persuasive consumer experience to influence the purchasing behavior. So even if you choose to use your mobile phone for integration, use the QR, RFID to understand who's there, or even if you don't, there are still factors in play that will tell you, even by time of day, time of year, what the weather is, what the likelihood of different things happening. And we can be smarter with the data and with the content that we're paying so much for. We can support broader communication efforts with real-time automated messaging. Again, the medium's there. You have your platform. So now we just have to optimize it. So my final thoughts are that we really need to plan for day 2. In all RFPs, day 2 is seldom talked about, seldom budgeted for. And I think that from a cost standpoint, we need to do it, but we also need to do it because we have to continue to evolve that network. Once the network's in, and once it's beautiful and it's running, it shouldn't be over. It should be a continuous process. Because even as a customer, when you walk into a store, have you seen where sometimes it turns into wallpaper and you stop looking and it's not engaging anymore? So either through the content or through the integration and through the interaction with consumers, it's really important to have a plan for day 2. Keep that shiny penny. So again, maybe something that only people in Michigan say, but the shiny penny is really important because you want that ecstatic customer, not only day 1, but day 2 and day 3. And although at SCALA we don't produce content, we feel that it's that necessary that we need to provide tools to do that because we're a team in all of this. And then finally, from SCALA's perspective, content is king. But according to advanced analytics, we also feel that context is queen. Do you guys have any questions or want to ask anything about analytics? We're also over in the big red booth if you want to stop by and see more. Okay, thank you.